this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act NJSA 10:4-10 has been complied with and shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Ms. Roas, roll call, please.
Trustee Anderson. Trustee Beauties.
Here, good morning.
Morning.
Trustee Delgado.
Here.
Trustee
morning.
Finkelstein. Trustee Madhukar.
Here.
Trustee Oris.
Here.
Trustee Valori.
I'm here.
Trustee Raja.
Good morning. I'm here.
Trustee Roman.
Here.
Trustee Ruiz. Here. Trustee Sika.
He's on Zoom.
Trustee Taffet.
Here.
Chair Raja, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Roas. In order to assist the Assistant Board Secretary in taking the accurate minutes of this meeting, I request the trustees identify themselves for the record when making and seconding the motions for abstention. May I have the motion to approve the minutes of September 17, 2025 Board of Trustee regular meeting? So moved, Andy Florida. Second. Bob Morris, second. Bob Morris is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? The motion is carried. Mr. Roas, do we have any correspondence?
Chair Raja, there is no correspondence.
Thank you. And Dr. McCormick, do we have a presentation?
Sure, Roger, we do. So we had a tradition going right before COVID where once a year the board would meet at one of our two centers here in beautiful Perth Amboy and also in New Brunswick. And we did it once each before COVID hit, and that put an end to that practice. We're getting back to that practice. So I want to thank the trustees who made it here in person today to join us in our Perth Amboy Center. I know that in a minute, Angela Abreu, our Assistant Dean for Urban Satellite Centers and Community Initiatives, is going to talk about both centers and offer a tour of this one at the end of the meeting. But we're really proud of what we do at both the centers. And in many ways, they are microcosms of the larger campus, but they are in a different part of the county. And so with that, I'll introduce our Assistant Dean, Angela Abreu.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning to our board members, our cabinet, for the college here. Thank you so much and bienvenidos to our Perth Amboy Center. I do not see the presentation.
It's coming up.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Thank you. So just want to do a quick introduction of myself. As Mark mentioned earlier, my name is Angela Abreu. I serve as the Assistant Dean of our Urban Satellite Centers and Community Initiatives. Throughout my presentation, I think you'll fully understand by the end just kind of what my portfolio entails in terms of the work that I do here at the college. I'm coming close to October 2nd will be 14 years that I've been here at Middlesex, and the bulk of that time has been spent at both of our urban satellite centers. I did have a small stint where I spent some time at the main campus in enrollment services, and then shortly thereafter, I was able to take over as director of Perth Amboy Center following Dr. Laurie Ano, who did an amazing job here prior to. And so I find myself here now having two homes within our urban satellite centers, and I hope to showcase a little bit of the work that we do on the ground here on a day-to-day. I also teach here at the college, which I think is super important as an administrator to also teach and be in the classroom so that I fully understand what our plight is of our students and the things that they're going to. But I also like to be in the classroom and instructor as that is how I found my way into higher education was as a faculty member at a community college. I drank the Kool-Aid and I've been here for a while. I love the flavor. And so definitely I am here for the ride. Next slide. So I don't do this work alone. Thank you. And I don't think thanks is even the word here that will really entail how I feel. But we now have two amazing leaders that are on the ground taking shape and forming what is now our two urban satellite centers. We have Robert Munoz, who's here in the room with us today, who is now the director of our Perth Amboy Center and also an instructor within workforce development and lifelong learning. And then we also have Jillian Suazo, who's also here with us today, who has just joined us, and she's the director of our New Brunswick Center. Many of you knew Evelyn Rosa, who retired last year. And so Jillian has taken over that particular center. Rob has been with us for a while here at the college in many capacities. And he found our way here to the centers, and we're so happy to have both of them. So thank you so much for the work that both of you are doing on the ground. Next slide. So the two centers, I'm sorry, one slide before. Oh, no, this is it. Perth Amboy. One before, sorry.
Right there.
So our two teams. So I wanted to make sure that I know all of our center teams could not be here today with us. Obviously, they are holding it down in our front offices and also at our other location in New Brunswick. But I wanted to showcase our New Brunswick Center team. That is the majority of the team. There are a few people missing in that photo at the top left. And then you have the Perth Amboy Center team down at the bottom. You have actually the whole span of the entire team for Perth Amboy Center down there. Next slide. I'm sorry, there was a slide with the two centers side by side. Yes, okay. So our two urban satellite centers, what do we do? What is our mission at our two centers? We obviously follow the same mission and vision as the college, but we actually expand and have created a bridge between the two centers and our main campuses to make sure that our students are receiving similar services and are able to get a similar experience to that of our main campus. So our two centers in Perth Amboy and New Brunswick have been around for now over 50 years. And so our New Brunswick Center started up back in actually 1980, and our Perth Amboy Center opened up here in this city in 1979. So we've been around for quite a while in these two communities, providing access to higher education, but we also provide enrollment services at this particular location. We have tailored programs that are in the credit and our non-credit department, but we ultimately provide those career pathways. And honestly, I have to say, a student said to me a bunch of years ago, said to me, these centers are like a hope. These are places for hope and for opportunity. And so our centers serve as almost like community agencies, and we provide spaces to our students, but also to the community at large to utilize our facilities and be able to explore the different opportunities that do exist here to uplift our communities, but uplift our families and students individually. Next slide. So our New Brunswick Center. So specifically, what services do we offer at our center? So we have admissions assistance, registration, financial aid, academic advising. We do testing for both our credit side of the house for ESL, but also our non-credit and lifelong learning courses that we have there. We also assist students with all types of issues that they experience when it comes to net ID and troubleshooting their emails and other issues that they may experience. We are their first stop when they're having issues at our centers before going to the main campus. And we do everything that we can to provide the different services and the transactions that they need to be successful in and outside of the classroom at our two centers. Our two centers, our operating hours that go beyond what the scope of the main campus is. So our centers operate right now, Monday through Thursday. Our hours are advertised until 8:30, from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. But our staff are usually on site to about 10:30 p.m. every day because we have classes that are running late at night. I will tell you that this semester, the New Brunswick Center has seen an amazing increase in foot traffic and also enrollment. So we're totally happy to see that. We also have Saturday hours at both of our centers. So we are open from 8:30 to 12 o'clock, and students are able to come in and seek assistance, whether it's in enrollment services or to see an academic advisor in person at our centers. And then the beauty, I think, too, with our centers is all of the staff are bilingual. So they're able to really work with the students, especially our ESL population, which is pretty big at both of our centers and the demographics that we serve. Next slide. Our Perth Amboy Center, in terms of operating hours and in terms of our services, mimic the same across the two centers. Last year, when I was given the opportunity in May to take hold of the two centers in an interim capacity, I was able to streamline our services and our programming across the board so that the two centers were not operating any longer in a silo. They were operating almost uniquely together. I can tell you that today, we are starting this evening our swap for staff. Some of our part-time staff at our centers are actually swapping this evening for the first time so that we can start doing cross-training and be able to help each other as centers during times that we have peak registration, peak advising, and other things that are going on between the two centers. We want to make sure that we are operating as one. Next slide. So in terms of our enrollment and our courses, I wanted to give you just a quick snapshot, a taste of just what is happening on the ground. So New Brunswick Center for this fall, in terms of our courses, we have about 29 classes that we're offering on the credit side, and then we have about 7 non-credit courses that we're offering through workforce development and lifelong learning. In terms of enrollment, we have 389 students right now on the ground at New Brunswick Center taking courses at that site, along with 52 that are in the non-credit space. Next slide. Our Perth Amboy Center, in terms of number of courses, you have here 66 courses that we're offering this fall. I'm happy to report that we've actually taken over the Magnet School, which we're co-joined. We actually have taken over all of their classrooms on the second floor and some on their first floor in terms of the growth and enrollment at this particular location. So we definitely have a very strong partnership with our Magnet School and make sure that we utilize this entire facility at its maximum during the year. In terms of non-credit coursework, we have 9 classes right now that are running here at this particular location. And then enrollment, we have a little over 705 students taking classes at this particular center this fall semester, along with 81 students. And that's growing because we're still registering students for October start in terms of our enrollment. Next slide. Our Empower program. So under my portfolio, I oversee 3 pre-college programs here at the college. Our Empower program is actually the oldest program. It's about to be 17 years old in terms of its existence here at the college. I had the opportunity to take hold of this program, and last year we made it go dormant for a little bit so that we can revamp the program and incorporate some of the career readiness and college readiness that we see in some of our other programs here at the college. And so we relaunched the program in the spring semester with 14 students. Next slide. And here you'll see a picture of the students at the New Brunswick Center. We had a pinning ceremony at the New Brunswick Center back in June at the conclusion, and we gathered data that told us that we need to keep running this program. And so we are relaunching the Empower program in November coming up, and it'll be running through June. And it is an after-school program for 7th through 10th graders in New Brunswick and the surrounding area to support them in this idea of going to college. Next slide. Success Bound. We are entering our 9th year of Success Bound. This particular program is a pre-college program that lives here in Perth Amboy, thanks to our city of Perth Amboy and other partners who have helped us build this program out to where it is today. This past summer, we had 90 students that participated in our summer program. They were able to gain college credits, and they had paid internships at over 36 different businesses throughout Carteret and throughout the city of Perth Amboy, as well as remotely as well. So our students were spread out this summer participating in these paid internships where they were able to really gain all types of experience, start building up their resumes and not having to turn to the typical fast food retail jobs, right? We want them to start building up their resumes from an early start. And so this is definitely an important program to have here at the college. In terms of, next slide. In terms of the program here, you'll see the conclusion of our summer. You have all of the students minus 1. And so I think it may have been because we had their last paychecks in possession that day. And so they wanted their funds. But our students, obviously they are super excited and they're looking forward to coming back. 31 of these students that are in this photo are taking classes right now across all 3 locations. And so they are currently immersed in the college experience and continue to do so. We are already recruiting for Empower and Success Bound, and so the recruitment is constantly ongoing. Next slide. Our Pathways to Healthcare Hospitality. We just finished up our second summer of this particular program. This program was in partnership with Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital and the Youth Advocate programs in New Brunswick. We ran an 8-week summer program where students worked across 16 departments at Robert Wood in New Brunswick, and they rotated for those 8 weeks. And you see just some of the students in this photo. These are not all of the students, but I'm happy to report today that 5 of the students that are in this photograph are currently hired. Were hired after their 8-week summer experience, and 16 of them are currently in queue for jobs at Robert Wood Johnson Hospital in New Brunswick. I just met with them literally this week, and this might be premature, but they want to continue our partnership and they want to expand Success Bound and other opportunities. So we are having some amazing and great talks with Robert Wood and seeing how we can further the reach to our youth. Next slide. Workforce development and lifelong learning. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the work that we do here, is centered around the academic side, but we also do some amazing work with the workforce development and lifelong learning space. And they've been able to work with us and this particular community and making sure that we tailor programming that addresses immediate needs of our communities in both New Brunswick and Perth Amboy. So we have ESL classes, we have phlebotomy certification, veterinary assistant certification, community health worker, and other programs. And we're still working out other programs that we can launch here at our centers that are responding to those community needs based on data that we are looking at. Next slide. So here you'll see some of the just flyers. I just wanted to present to you just one of our flyers for our ESL classes. All of the marketing materials that we put together at our centers are both in English and Spanish. Because of the populations that we serve, we want to make sure that everything we do is in both languages. Next slide. So aside from just classes and operating these academic courses on site and providing student and enrollment services, we also have all types of workshops and events that we put on throughout the year. And I do not have enough time to show you everything that we do, but I wanted to at least showcase some of those things here today. So next slide. So upcoming right now, we do a lot of support with our enrollment services department. We have admissions and registration workshops that are coming up for students to join and be able to participate in and start moving the needle towards getting them in our classrooms and going towards an education or a degree. Next slide. We also provide FAFSA workshops. So we provide over 100 different appointments across both centers, one-on-one, for students to come in with their families if they want to, and they're able to sit down and complete the FAFSA with our staff. Right now, we are in between 2 applications, and we will complete both applications in one shot if that's what the student would like to do. But we do host a sizable number of appointments, and let me tell you, students definitely take advantage of these appointments. They span throughout day, evening, and also weekends as well. Next slide. Here's just one of our FAFSA workshop flyers. This is actually one of the ones coming up. We're having a FAFSA group session for students and families to join us at the centers. Next slide. So VITA and United Way of Central New Jersey, we've been partnering with them for actually almost 2 decades as an institution. And I had the privilege of working with Charmaine over at our New Brunswick location for many years. We've actually expanded the opportunity to have VITA and United Way here at our Perth Amboy location. And last year alone, we were able to save this particular community in this area over $400,000 in tax prep filing. Excuse me. In tax prep dollars. And so this is a sizable number, in terms of families being able to save during tax season. Now, the VITA and United Way have now upped their game in terms of opportunities that they're offering our community. And they now are reaching out to college students and community at large to provide training on site this fall semester here to become a tax prep coach. So students and community members can come in, get trained to then, in the filing season coming up in the next few months, to be able to start helping community members file their taxes on site. So we will have tax filing sessions here at Perth Amboy and New Brunswick in the spring semester to come. Next slide. So our services and our reach goes beyond the walls of the space that you are currently in. And it's a small space, but we are super mighty. And so we are all over the place when it comes to community outreach and community engagement. So here you'll see at our New Brunswick Center at the top right, we had a community resource fair and a mini open house at that particular location in the spring semester. And we had vendors come in to provide all types of information to our community. Down at the bottom here on the left, you'll see some of the staff with Partner, which is a nonprofit here in the city of Perth Amboy. We put together, I believe, might have been the largest job fair last month. We had about 400 people registered to that job fair. We had 553 people show up to see over 50 different recruiters that were on site downstairs in the Magnet School gym. Again, our collaborations go deep. Next. Community events. So we host a lot of arts and crafts and opportunities for students to zen out, right? And so we do all types of things where we not only tell our college students to attend, but we tell them if you have children, come out to some of our events that the children can come to, right? And we partner with the Jewish Renaissance Foundation and other entities here in the city to provide other kinds of services during those moments so that we can tend to the students and the families that we're serving during those workshops. So you'll see some of the fun things here. Even some of our staff that are pictured there are participating in some of the events with community members at large and our students. Next slide. We also have a lot of community partners that come in on a weekly basis, and they provide all types of tabling opportunities, resources. I know the city of Perth Amboy is regularly here on site to provide all types of resources that exist within this particular city. But even at our New Brunswick location, you have Ocean First and Chase and other organizations that come in and host all types of events and workshops that our students are invited to and participate in. And we even have trainings that happen on site. Right now, we have New Brunswick's City of New Brunswick's fire department is currently doing their onboarding and training for their new recruits at our New Brunswick location. And then, as I mentioned earlier, VITA, United Way will be doing training here for folks that will be doing tax prep in the spring. So we get maximum use of our space. Next slide. And here you have our end of the summer celebration. Chase Bank donated this summer book bags to every single one of our students that were in our pre-college programs. So we're super thankful to those kinds of partnerships. And we have so many more that I am leaving out, but these are just a few snapshots of some of the things that we do on the ground. And this picture was actually taken at the main campus. We spread our wings. When I tell you that we have created a true, and it's not invisible, bridge to the main campus, it exists and we feel it. We love the love that we are experiencing in terms of different departments coming in and utilizing our spaces and extending those services at the main campus like veterans and counseling and EOF and others into our centers. And so we thank you all of those that participate in those partnerships and collaborations. Next slide. And last but not least, I wanted to provide an opportunity. As much as I would love to sit here and tell you all about the program, I think it's best for a student that went through the program that actually is from the city of Perth Amboy to tell you himself of what his experience was like going through the Success Bound program and where is he now today in life. And so we have Adriel Fernandez, who's joined us on Zoom from Rhode Island. He's currently in his senior year at Brown University, and I'll turn it over to him to do a little update for you guys and let you know what is he up to today.
All right, thanks, Angela. I really appreciate it. Hi, everyone. So, like Angela said, my name is Adriel. Right now, I'm a senior at Brown University. I was originally born and raised in Perth Amboy, and I lived there all my life. I studied at the high school I went to was Academy for Urban Leadership, which is unfortunately shut down now. And I was part of the Success Bound Accelerator program. And yeah, that's kind of like who I am. Right now I'm studying international and public affairs. with a focus on policy and governance. And I'm also studying computer science with a focus on data science. And then more recently, I'm also beginning to have more of a concentration on a study of economics as well. And very briefly, why I chose Brown was mainly because of like this open curriculum that they had. And so they gave me like, that open curriculum gives you an opportunity to really explore all your sorts of interests and, the exploit the intersection between them. But in regards as to how Success Bound has helped me, I would say it's definitely helped me like a huge amount for sure, right? Um, I definitely would describe myself as a very, passionate and driven individual, but I think Success Fund is really able to direct me on where to focus that drive, right? They've definitely helped me via, the college application process and the financial assistance, right? Because before then, I didn't know anything at all, really. Right. I was confused. Like I really wanted to go to college, but I didn't know how to like work on that, right? But besides the, help with that college application process and help with financial aid, some program also helped me solidify, my own career interest and what I really wanted to do. Because for the longest time, I was really focused on, social justice, but I wanted to figure out how to like really apply that. And so one of the ways I was able to really solidify that, career interest of mine was through the internship that Success Brown provided me, which was through like a partnership of the YMCA. And I was able to do some research on how to like better improve Perth Amboy. And what I came up with was, one route to improve Perth Amboy was through its education. And in that regards, I came up with the idea of like, providing high school students paid internships because I figured out like, one of the main issues of why people may not be focused so much on education was because they're so focused on trying to provide for their family and whatnot, right? And so that's what I came up with during my time at Success Round. And I've also improved in other ways as well, right? My own personal growth, through weekly reflections and improving my own writing. And so Success Found has really provided that sort of foundation that I've been able to, launch off of and really, really focus on right here now at Brown. So I think Success Found as a whole, um, even within its beginning years, has been like such a huge help to me. And I'm really, really appreciative of what it's done for me. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and I can't wait to see how Success Fund will, improve in the future.
Thank you, Andrea and Edward.
So that concludes the
Good luck.
presentation.
Go ahead.
It's just a conclusion. That was the end.
We are so proud. You are making us proud. Very good, good success. Any questions? Yes,
Thank you very much for the presentation. When it comes to the outreach in the community, what do you find your best methods of getting the word out into the community and to bring them into the center? How do you find that your methods of getting them into and are they both the same in both communities?
Yes, so in terms of our strategies for outreach and in terms of recruitment and the work that we do in that space, both of the centers are utilizing the same efforts, right? When I got here in 2020 as director of the Perth Amboy Center, this wasn't just like a job. I was born in this city and my parents arrived here in 1980 from the Dominican Republic. And so I'm first gen. To me, this job was like full circle of my life, coming back to the city where I was born and raised for a little while. And so thankful to my family history, I knew the city pretty well, right? And how to get around. But I also know that the leader that came before me left an amazing foundation in terms of community engagement, community outreach. So I expanded on what was already being done, but I think it was just working closely with our community partners our different agencies that are here in town. And we actually, during COVID, when I became director that summer, I hit the ground onto State Street. I know we had to wear masks and the whole thing, but we hit the ground on State Street, Smith. We hit the whole corridor of the downtown, I call it Cinque Esquinas, the five corners here in Perth Amboy. And we, Ashley Castiglia, who's our center coordinator at the time, and others, we hit the ground running and just started doing those grassroots efforts that were just door to door, right? Going to businesses and letting people know, like, we're open, we're here. This is what we can offer in terms of our services, and these are our hours of operation. So this community and New Brunswick as well, the people that live there, people that play there, right? And have business there. It's a family environment. It's a home environment. People want to connect face to face, right? The emailing will only get you but so far. People want that face to face interaction. And yesterday we were meeting with New Brunswick Tomorrow, and we were meeting with Rutgers in New Brunswick, and we met with a few other folks downtown and Dress for Success as well. And this was all in person, right? And it's intentional because our community needs that. Our community needs the face-to-face. They need to feel the love. And I feel like our two centers now, in terms of outreach, both centers now have staff who are going out to the communities who speak Spanish. And I think that's also a different twist on how we're doing outreach, is sending folks that have the right energy, the right passion in front of community members, in front of families, to show them that this is a place for hope, and this is a place for opportunity, and that they can do more through this place. And we invite members of the community into our doors. We don't always just come in and pitch them that, come and register for a class and come and sign up for this workshop. Sometimes it's just come and use our space. Come and do a paint and sip, no alcohol, but come and join a paint and sip with your children and join us, right? We have so many parenting students here that are college students that are with us. We want to make sure that we're thinking of the whole student and not just the individual student, because the whole student comes with those other pieces. And we try to do our best in working with our partners. We might not have all of the resources in our disposal, but we use the power of the community that's here, that's been doing great work, like the city of Perth Amboy's mayor's office and the different departments, like PROD, and like a few other agencies, JRF, that we work with. They come in and they want to help. And that helps us really then in turn give students an experience, not just a transaction.
Thank you. My second point was, one, I think it's great that you're doing the employee swap, where I think employees from New Brunswick may have different experiences or practices that they can bring to Perth Amboy and vice versa. When it comes to just recently, have there been any changes or hesitation when it comes to assisting residents and students with citizenship? Has there been any hesitation from them, any anxiety around that, or any challenges that you have to overcome?
But you're asking around them coming in,
Yes.
and speaking about and disclosing citizenship and those kinds of things. I think our staff would be able to better speak to it directly right now on the ground. In terms of my experience prior to being assistant dean, and in terms of interacting with students, I know in the spring semester, we saw some students that came to us, right? They wanted to talk about some of their concerns around being here and making sure that their information is private, and thankful that we do have FERPA and other things put in place to protect our students and identity. But I wouldn't say that there's a hesitation at all. I also think that our staff, in the way that our staff conduct conversations, really does matter in terms of being able to connect with students and make them feel immediately comfortable to be able to disclose certain things. And I know that the language piece, right? The majority of students that walk in through our doors here at this particular center speak Spanish only. And so having staff who are bilingual, that immediately sets a tone when communicating, right? And making sure that students feel as comfortable as possible when they're with us. We can't do too much about what's going on outside of our walls, but I can tell you from the inside, we are constantly telling students, like, there is I think a great sense of belonging And I think that most students that come here and either for services or to take classes, they feel like it's home. So I think there's this certain level of comfort. And our students that are here taking classes, they're usually here with us for a little while in terms of the ESL students because we offer all levels of ESL. So they're here with us and they understand the culture and the home space and and I think there is a certain level of comfort that our students have in being able to talk about certain things, but it also comes from the staff and how they deal with those conversations. And we do professional development all the time and we talk about things all the time to making sure that we're all on the same page and we're all communicating the same and we're all treating things about the same when it comes to our students. Those students that have expressed any hesitation, those have bubbled up to me to have further conversation, but that was only in the spring, like in the beginning of January, and we haven't really seen much else after that.
Thank you.
I think your presentation was wonderful. We can tell the passion that you have and bringing education to the community, right? So there are other communities in the county, and I'm from Monroe, but Jamesburg, Helmetta, Spotswood, some of those underserved who could use this. Is there a thought about expanding the footprint of Middlesex College into other locations, given the passion that you're showing here?
So I'm currently working on cloning myself. All jokes aside, are there plans? I mean, I have so many ideas, and I mean, we could be here forever, right? I think we're working together with college leadership internally to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of the mission and the vision, even with our centers. And we're constantly thinking about how do we expand our footprint, right? Our Success Bound program allowed us to expand into Carteret and South Amboy, which I didn't even think was going to be possible. Right now, the partnership with South Amboy is taking a seat, but Carteret is still there, and others though have reached out. And I will tell you that I've had Asbury Park, Richfield Park, other cities outside of the county have contacted me to find out, can you bring your programs to our locations? And I'm like, you're outside of the county. So no, but in terms of what we do, there's no secret here. There's no secret. I really do think the drivers of a lot of the success that we are seeing, it's the people. It's the people that work here. And I have to acknowledge, Ruth Garcia, who's here in the room, and staff, Rob and Jim, you're part of that mix too, but specifically our staff that are behind the scenes that are not in this room right now, that are probably watching on Zoom right now from their offices. It's them. It's not me. I'm just giving you a nervous transfer of their drive, their passion that I consume, that feeds me on a daily basis to continue doing this work. And I don't drink caffeine, unfortunately, but this is all natural. But all jokes aside, I do hope that we get to a space and a place that we can expand what we're doing, because I think when you really start to talk to like the parents and the community members at large that are directly impacted by this investment into our communities in terms of our programs and our centers, you'll immediately get to see the emotion that comes from our families that utilize these spaces as just more than just a classroom that you come to love. It's another home. So.
I will be brief, and it's not going to be a question because I don't want to make sure we are out in time for lunch. In all seriousness, thank you for having us this morning, Dean Abreu. I think it's so critically important as a board member. It's very helpful when we get out into the field and you get to see something, a different perspective, and creating this opportunity for Middlesex residents, for urban residents in this environment, whether or not and how frequently or where else we can do it regionally, a whole other set of issues. But to create that experience and your infectious attitude and energy that you bring and your whole team, I mean, it really is, for me, like great value as I internalize what would it mean if I was a young person looking for an opportunity, and trying to figure out my next steps, and to have this as a resource right here in Perth Amboy. I just think it's really a tremendous gem, and I appreciate you putting your all into it. Adriel at Brown University, I could never get into Brown. And the fact that I've come through the system and the success that you've achieved thus far and success that you will achieve in the future. And hopefully you will continue to remember your humble roots. So I just, all the way around, it's a feel good, it's a great story. It's about how do we take this and continue to, catapult from here, embrace it, expand it, ensure success of it. But I do want to say that the satellite campus is a tremendous opportunity, very important, and I didn't realize that we had over 700 students here, more than 1,000 when you added New Brunswick. I just very proud of Middlesex College and all that each and every one of you do, and the time and energy that you put in for this morning. So continued success. Sorry, I went on a little bit, but a proud member this morning, Ms. Roman and Ms. Ruiz, others that are, her family or from close proximity. I think it's great. I mean, I love doing this. So thank you for having us.
Mr. Stafford, that's great word for this community, and your encouragement and knowledge helps us too. Chrissy, you have a word for us. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo all of my colleagues' comments. Congratulations, great job. Love hearing about the partnerships that are taking place, and more of a question around where do you see future opportunities for growth with reaching out into the community, and if there's any types of resources that are needed, certainly please let us know. I know you're working with the administration and such, but I think you hit the nail on the head with those partnerships, and you referenced some fabulous organizations, and would love to hear if you have any plans to continue to grow those types of partnerships within New Brunswick and Perth Amboy.
Yes, the work doesn't stop. So as I mentioned, we had several meetings yesterday in the city of New Brunswick. And so I will tell you that the work doesn't stop in terms of expanding, in terms of creating, in terms of implementing. We get our charges from our college leadership, but we also here on the ground, we understand what the community needs, and we kind of try to do our best to respond to that. We will always be in the community. We will continue to be in the community. In terms of resources, I mean, there's always more hands is always great, right? You can do more with more hands, but I think that we are, again, small but mighty, and we do so much with the resources that we do have, and we will continue to push those business partnerships and community partnerships alike. And Chrissy, to your point, there's so many community partners that I did not mention today, which, it pains me a little bit because they all deserve recognition because of the amazing work that we all do collectively to put on this experience throughout the entire year. That will never stop. I think I still have a few more good years in me with this energy, and hopefully it sticks for a little while longer. And I definitely have an amazing team behind me and next to me that's able to help continue some of the great work. And they also seem to have drank the Kool-Aid and like the flavor. So I think we're going to see a lot more fruit coming out of our centers as we move forward.
Chair Roger,
Great.
I just want
Yes,
to
Diane.
I think to add something because obviously I work very closely with this campus. I think that is the denominator here. The people make the difference in making connections. And starting with Dr. Leoniano, because I work with him very closely. He was a previous administrator here. So people like Ms. Garcia was key, instrumental in helping a lot of people with the FAFSA. I mean, I witnessed the kindness and patience that she exhibited. That is what makes us different. That is what makes us this institution the different in the state. I have no qualms about it. Numbers can mean something, but it is the people that move the needles. And if we can continue to, when you're around somebody like Angelo, you wanna be around that attitude, because who wants to be depressed when you're studying? You have to think about those moments, those people that inspire you to continue to read. Oh, I have to, give me 1 more hour. You know what I mean? Because you want to be part of success. It is infectious. And if we're duplicating somebody like you, there's no stopping this institution.
Thank you.
So she's saying, clone yourself, please.
Listen, as a first gen, my parents never got past 8th grade. To be like, and I thought I was gonna be a veterinarian. I do have a zoo at home. But in terms of, career, I thought I was gonna be a veterinarian, and for medical reasons, that's not where I landed. I never would have thought that working in higher education would have been a career that I would have found so much fulfillment, and I don't see myself doing anything else. Like, there isn't anything else. I think it's really important, and to be then here to then help families that are also my family, like my aunts, uncles, all live here, except my parents. I'm trying to get them back into the county, but but in terms of my family, they're all still here. All 19 aunts and uncles, like they're all here. And so this is really home for me. And so it's more than just a job. And I just thank the executive team and the board for allowing me to continue to do this kind of work.
Great. You have more hair than the Jose, so.
I just had one note for Angela. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. And I know it's been a while since I've been able to come back to the campus. I'm so excited to be here today. I just wanted to reiterate, if you ever need anything when it comes to business opportunities, the Office of Business Engagement is there. Director Show Islam. I'm going to be more than happy to continue to make any introductions to the business community. And then you also have the Office of Workforce Career Development. I know Middlesex College has the adult dislocated workers as well as the Opportunity Youth Program. I think there's great opportunities, especially since you offer some of that ESL work in Oak New Brunswick and Perth Amboy. And as we kind of reimagine what the workplace success lab looks like, we might be moving in more into the satellite campuses to provide us those services. So I'd love to revisit that conversation. But also within the Office of Workforce Career Development, I'm sure you know Ebony Williams. She's a great resource in terms of plugging in employers as you kind of build out career fairs. You have a full network in and outside of Middlesex College to provide you support. And I want to make sure that you know that we are here to continue to support you.
I know it and I feel it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy. Great. Any more comments, questions?
Mr. Roger, I do have one comment.
Yes.
That I just want to say congratulations for the job that you and your staff has done with both centers. And you're onto something there when you say that you bring the community in at a young age, because that's where our next students come from.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McCormick. That's a great presentation. Okay, committee report. We can start with the academic and students affairs. Mr. Anderson.
Thank you very much. If I'm able to, so go to Dr. Taylor. Okay. That's easy. All right, I'd like to call upon let's see. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Dr. Miller.
Okay.
we go.
Make a presentation.
I read this yesterday. All right, if I can point this over to Dr. Miller for the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Anderson. There are two resolutions to present today on behalf of the Academic and Student Affairs Committee. The first is the Middlesex County Adult Dislocated Career Services Contract, awarded in the amount of just over 1.5 million. The purpose of this funding is personnel and programming for adult dislocated workers of Middlesex County to provide employment readiness services with the Workforce Development Board of Middlesex County and mandated services through the federal allocations received by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. The second is the Community College Opportunity Grant Student Success Initiative. This is a planning grant in the amount of $161,653. This is to be used to design a program to encourage matriculation and support students throughout their county college experience. So that concludes this month's resolution.
Thank you. Before I ask to move this for resolution, I'll just clear it up. I have a completely clogged left ear and my entire side of my face is numb. So I'm waiting for the ears, nose and throat doctor to get me an appointment, but we've all discombobulated this morning, but I would like to move this for approval for resolution. 1 through 3.
So there are 3 resolutions, just to make sure.
The third one.
You may have an old script. Do you have the third resolution there, Chad?
Yeah, the third resolution deals with a contract for the operation of a project entitled Fueling Community Journalism through New Jersey Community Colleges for the period between May of 25 and June of 26, and that it's to approve that contract.
Thank you, Jeff.
Now we're ready.
May I have a motion to approve resolutions 1 through 3?
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. May I have second, please?
You don't. Second.
Second, Mr. Pat. And the motion is okay, all in favor? Aye. Oppose? Any abstention? Motion is carried. Finance, Mr. Tappan.
Thank you, Chairman Raja. Good morning. The Finance Committee met this past week. Typical robust meeting of resolutions and financial discussion. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Frank Maltino to present those resolutions this morning. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Chairman Taffet and Chairman Raja. On October the 8th, 2025, the Finance Committee met at 8:30 a.m. to discuss various fiscal matters at the college that include contracting, bids, awards, contract amendments, renewals, and payments. There are 7 resolutions this month. All of these resolutions and arrangements and obligations are funded through the college's operating funds, minor capital funding, Chapter 12 funding, and or grants. These resolutions herein are for fiscal year 2026, which begins July 1, 2025 and continues through June 30th of 2026. Resolutions 1 through 5 consist of purchase and awards under various cooperatives, fair and open bids, second-year renewals, play contracts, payment authorization for construction contracts occurring on campus. These construction projects have been previously approved by this body. Resolution number 6 is for the authorization of payment of legal fees to the Wiener Law Group in the amount of $7,812.50 and also $2,625 to the Wiener Law Group also for labor matters. Resolution number 7, the last resolution, is for the authorization of payment to Middlesex County for construction costs as it relates to the CIO project out of funds that are held in trust by the college for the county for construction costs. And these are not to exceed $7 million this month. Chairman Taffet, that concludes the finance resolutions.
Thank you, Mr. Maltino. Chairman Raja, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolutions 1 through 7. I will be abstaining on resolutions 6A and 6B. So for that, someone else will move that resolution.
Chairman Raja, I move resolution 6A and 6B.
Thank you, Mr. Taffet. Thank you, Mr. Orris. I have a second, please.
Andy Flores seconded.
Mr. Flores seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstention? The motion is carried. The human resources, I call upon the human resources that we have
Mr. Orris.
Mr. Orris.
Thank you, Mr. Raja. At this point, I would like to have Ms. Stephen provide us with a report.
Thank you, Chairman Orris. Good morning, members of the board. Human Resources is recommending a total of 26 recommended items, inclusive of hires, change of status, separations, and miscellaneous actions for the month of October. And I'm happy to answer any questions from the board on these items.
Thank you, Ms. Stephen. I would like to make a motion to approve all resolutions in the categories of hires, change of status, separations, and miscellaneous.
Thank you, Mr. Orris. May I have a second, please?
Trustee Roman, second.
Mr. Roman, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? The motion is carried. In general, I would like to request our Vice Chair, Mr. Taffet, to present the general resolutions.
Thank you, Chairman Raja. We have two general resolutions before us today. The first resolution is regarding approval of the president's expenses pursuant to section 5.2 of the board bylaws. In my role as vice chair of the board, I report to the board that I've reviewed the president's expense report for the first quarter fiscal year 2026, found them to be in order. I am recommending them for board approval. The second resolution here has to do with residency. And I would make a motion for both resolutions to be adopted this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Taffet. May I have second, please?
Second, Anderson?
Mr. Anderson, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? The motion is carried. Remark from Middlesex County Board of Commissioner. We have Ms. Castor here. We have it. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here today. I don't have any announcements on behalf of the county, but it's always great to be in Caribbean Board and experience with all our campus. So thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. A report from the council.
There's no report.
Thank you. Report. President's report, Dr. McCormick.
To do a report, but before we start, and I know Joe's going to get up the PowerPoint, I want to thank Angelo and his team, especially directors Robert Munoz and Jim Suazo and Garcia and the whole team here. I want to echo what a lot of you said on the board, and you heard Angelo present with such passion, is that relationships matter and the people in place matter. And it matters that we have great staff here at both centers and that we, the college, are trying to show the love, as Angelo said, to the centers. And with that, and I want to thank the faculty and staff who come here, especially the faculty who teach here. We have a lot of adjuncts at both centers. We also have a growing number of full-time faculty who volunteer to teach here as they want to be part of that extended college community, not just the main campus. So kudos to all of you, and especially to the team. And I want to tell a little story about Angelo. I remember this morning that back in March of 2021, deep in the heart of COVID, we had our last Middlesex visit. It was coming up in the fall of 28. More to come on that in the next year. But the chair of the visiting team had a private exit interview with me on Zoom before the readout to the college community of what the team found at the Middlesex visit. And she said to me at the end of it, "I want to steal one of your team members." Guess who it was? She said, "The passion that you have, Angela, was infectious, and she wanted you on her team in New York." And I said, "Hands off." But I'm glad you have that passion. I'm glad,
leaving New Jersey.
and I'm glad, like you, I just drink decaf. We don't need caffeine, right? It's good stuff. First slide. Next slide. So we talk about engaging our students. We're in the middle of the fall semester and lots going on. But I want to start with an enrollment update. I learned yesterday from Lisa Ramirez-Gregory, our assistant dean for enrollment management, that our fall number, we have the census date, we have to return numbers into the state and the feds for comparison, and it is the 5th largest enrollment ever in the college's history. You were at a head count then, there's more students that trickle in, but they won't make the cutoff for the enrollment date, was 12,762. We're catching up with 2010 and 2012. Our largest number ever was in fall of 09. You may recall the little recession in 08, 09, 10, and usually there's a counter-cyclical reaction to those, and community college enrollment goes up. It didn't happen with COVID, but it did happen in 8, 9, and 10. So our largest numbers are back in that little bubble where we're catching up again. Thanks again to Angelo and team and Jose and team and the marketing team for getting the word out. We have a huge enrollment on campus. I also want to thank the students. I don't know if Adriel's still on, but Adriel, as Vice Chair Taffet said, we're proud of you, and we know that you represent the college well, and you're going to remember your roots. And I want to thank also our student alum trustee, Marissa Rees from class 25, and I'm going to steal her thunder. She got in the mail 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Her license to be a nurse here in New Jersey. Next slide. So some of the examples of what's happening on campus, I got to visit a class the other day, and the one there in the left photo with the red hair is a longtime adjunct professor, Nancy Merrill. She's also the chair of our adjunct faculty union, which is a forensic class. She does a great job. She invites me every year to come to a class where she sets up in the classroom the night before and warns the poor custodians so they don't freak the heck out, a crime scene. And you see there on the right, the green-haired woman is Victoria, the victim. And every year it's a little different with the facts. And she divides students into teams, and they've been prepped. They have to actually go in as if they were an investigatory team and record the information and report it out to her. A lot of fun, a little scary, a lot of fun. Next slide. We had here our ballot bowl event. So Lieutenant Governor Tisha Wei, also Secretary of State here in New Jersey, has an annual event where she gets all the colleges together in teams to have them help get their fellow students to register and vote. We did that there on Zoom, but we had a group in person celebrating the ballot bowl event. You see Bolt in the middle. I heard from Lieutenant Governor and her staff that Bolt was the best mascot on the call. I have no doubt. Next slide. We had a whole month ending today celebrating Hispanic heritage. And so on the left is a salsa band we had last year and this year, Los Nueve del Sabor. And on the right is part of the panel, Latinx in Higher Education, that the student organization for Latin Unity sponsored. We have many, many events all month long at both centers, at the main campus, celebrating Hispanic heritage. Next slide. We had a lot of events with this year of aesthetics. So some of the faculty in the History and Social Sciences department, led by philosophy professor Jonathan Finnerty, who's an alum and who was the 2015 recipient of a Jack Kent Cope Scholarship. He's a philosophy professor who likes to talk about philosophy. He had this idea that we have a whole year focusing on what it means to appreciate the beauty in our lives all around us, and is having events for faculty, staff, and students to appreciate that. On the left is Department Chair of English, Matt Spano, talking about haikus, and we actually wrote haikus as part of the workshop. And on the right is the Assistant Chair of English, Matt Siegel, who talked about his passion for anime and how anime is literature, and what it means in the culture to appreciate anime as part of our beauty of the world. Next slide. We had a visit from, I think, 45 students and some staff from the American University in Florence, with whom the college has had a long-standing partnership with our culinary arts program. In fact, every year we have a student or two that goes in the summer, has a great experience, and comes back and participates in the James Beard Foundation training in New York. So we have our students working with the AUS students on an event there you see on the right, the room was full, where they prepared an Italian meal, including some non-alcoholic Negronis and other drinks. It was a fun event, and it was fun to see the students from Italy talking to students from our program, a really nice exchange between the two countries. Next slide. And our sports teams are doing well. On the left, we have women's volleyball. They're cheering. They are building back up. Not a winning season so far this year, but starting to get there. And on the right, the men's soccer team, which at least a while back was number 11 in the country. So really good things going on with women and men's soccer and with women's volleyball here in the fall. Next slide. And I want to honor our trustees. Next slide. So last Tuesday, our chair of the board, Grateful Roger, who we all know and love, was honored by the Edison Chamber of Commerce as a Citizen of the Year. And we had a team from the college there on the left and several trustees, like Chrissy there on the right. We have one of our assemblymen there to honor the longstanding presence you've had, Mr. Roger, in the Edison community in New Jersey, in Middlesex County. Thank you for your leadership. And that is the report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I did it very much. Now we call upon Ms. Payne, the president of AFP 1940. Ms. Payne, you have 5 minutes to address the board.
And our IT guru Joe says Ms. Payne is not on Zoom.
She's not on.
She's not on.
Okay. Any old business?
Chair Roger, we have no old business.
Any new business?
No old business.
Okay. Comment from the audience, Mr. Ross, any registered to address the board?
Chair Roger, we have one individual registered.
So you need to read them.
It is time for the public comments, section 7.4. Board bylaw governs the public participations at the board meeting pursuant to the provisions of bylaw. The following protocols will be observed. Only those individuals who registered at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting with the assistant secretary of the board will be called upon to address the board. The college staff member will announce your name in the order in which you're registered. If you have If you are participating on Zoom, please be sure your name as it appears in Zoom matches the name you used to register. Prefer your comment, preface your comments by announcing your name, municipality of residence, and group of affiliation. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Please direct all the comments to me. The college staff will announce when 30 seconds of your time is remaining, and again, when your 3 minutes are up. IT staff call the name of the individual registered and address the board meeting.
We have Charlie Cradaville on Zoom.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Charlie Cradaville. I'll be brief. I wanted to speak about the New Brunswick Center and the piece of land diagonally across from it. I think that would be a super great area for an expansion of the campus. And I do know that Middlesex County has some plans afoot to develop that site with county offices, and just wanted to suggest to the board that it might be wise to get in on that, on the ground floor, perhaps literally. So that's all I've got today. Thanks.
Thank you, Charlie, for your comments. Appreciate it. Dr. McCormick, would you like to offer any final remarks?
So, Mr. Roger, I'm never going to say no. It was a long meeting, but it was a good meeting. I want to thank again Angelo for hosting, and Rob and team, and Jim for being here. A couple of things coming up I want to mention. I forgot when I was doing my report. Number one is this evening we have the annual celebration of those students who did not finish high school back during the time they should have and are finishing as an adult. It's a partnership with the county we're very proud of, and I give a lot of credit and kudos to Executive Director of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning, Natasha James Walden. It's this evening at 6 o'clock in the Parkview Room.
Yes.
In West Hall. If you want to come, you're welcome. I guarantee you need to bring tissues because there's always stories, most grads, that make you both proud and a little emotion. And then tomorrow, the letter's holding out, we have our annual Harvest Fest event. Last year, we crested over 1,200, maybe closer to 2,000 residents from the community coming to the event. This evening, I think we'll have a record crowd. I happened to have a chance yesterday to wander through the quad, and there was a bunch of pumpkins being carved by our students. So I found out they were being carved by teams, and they have a theme and a name, and you get to vote on them at Harvest Fest tomorrow. So I did not participate in the pumpkin carving, but I had a lot of suggestions for the team. So I have a favorite or two. Come out tomorrow if you can, 5 to 8 on the quad. You won't be sorry. And there's some slides, I think, if you give up, Joe, from the end of my PowerPoint. Last year's Harvest, I just want to show you what it looks like. But we have a lot of things going on. And I think if you have a few moments to come, bring your friends, bring your family, something for all ages. You really enjoy Harvest Fest. And there we go. There's some from last year's Harvest Fest. Just slide through them there, Joe. Is that the last one? There we go. And Mr. Roger, that's it. I hope to see you guys tomorrow night at Harvest Fest.
Very good. Thank you so much, Dr. McCormick. All the credits goes to you for this center. I tell you, it's just really Angelo and
it's a team effort, Mr. Roger.
Really very good. Good job. Good job. Very good. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. Chrissy, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
And Sandy, thank you for coming. I would like to have a motion to adjourn as we have no further business conduct this morning. The board adjourn until the annual meeting and next regular meeting on Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 8:30 in the Rotary Cape Power Board Room, and Zoom will be posted college website. Thank you so much.
Thank you. James, picture on the screen. You're not